Hey you guys, what's going on? Thank y'all so much for tuning in. So you guys have all asked for it, and here it is. This is the 2018 Mustang GT. Now I'm super excited for this car because of obviously the changes that Ford has made for 2018. So in this video, I will go over all the changes inside and out, take it for a drive, and show you guys what's new. Also, I want to give a big thank you and a huge shout out to Grand Prairie Ford, located in, you guessed it, Grand Prairie, Texas. They were super nice for letting me borrow this car, and I do just want to say, if you guys live in the DFW area, please give them a shout out and they will definitely get you taken care of. So first thing about the 2018 Mustang GT, the one I have here has the performance package, and it is in this beautiful magnetic gray color, and you guys can really see that amazing flake in the paint. And I think Ford just does a great job on paint coats. Of course, your signature 5.0 badge. Now, the first thing you're going to notice that's new about the 2018 Mustang is, of course, the front. So it looks a lot more angular, a lot more aggressive, and then, of course, the hood is going to be completely redesigned. So it does have a little bit thicker lines in it, different hood vents as well. As far as I know, it doesn't have the turn signals in the vents anymore, which it used to have, and it just looks very angry, and it has a real good look. It looks a lot better in person, I will say that. The headlights are going to mimic the rear lights, which I'll show you guys in just a second, but they have this kind of angled look, full LEDs. You do have these new slats on the side, which are not functional. I really wish they were, but you know, not really a big deal. And then of course you have the blacked out kind of bezels going across the middle of the grille, which look really nice. Coming along to the side, guys, you do have the same style black wheels from the previous generation Mustang performance packs, but you do now have Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires, which are very sticky, as you'll see in my drive. Does a really good job. And you also have 6-piston Brembo brakes up front now. And of course, coming along to the back, you have that new rear wing, which some people may not like it. Me personally, I think it looks really good. I think in this color, it does justice to the car, and especially from kind of the profile view, I think it looks really good, and I think it fits the Mustang very, very well. So coming along to this kind of quarter panel angle over here, this is probably my favorite angle of the new Mustang. I just think it looks really good. I like the meteor tires on it, and once you come along to the back, you can really see how they changed the tail lights. It's just a little slant in the tail lights, not a huge difference. Of course, you do have the quad exhaust, which I will show you guys what that sounds like. Well guys, as y'all can hear, this is the best sounding stock 5.0 Mustang that Ford has ever made. This one in specific does not have the active exhaust technology, so unfortunately I will not be able to show you guys the quiet, the mid, and then the track exhaust mode, which uses the butterfly valves. New for 2018, you do have a new key. So this key is very high quality. It basically falls in line with the rest of Ford's lineup. It still has your Mustang symbol on the back, which I like a lot, and it's just got a good overall feel to it, and you also get remote start. So as you guys can see, the remote start works very well. This technology has been around for a while, so I of course would expect that. Now there are multiple ways to get into the car. You can use the key to lock and unlock, of course, but if you come up to the door handle, you have Ford's keyless access system. You'll see a ribbed pattern on the door. You put your thumb on that, that'll lock the car, and there's a touchpad behind there, and you put your hand behind there, that'll unlock the car. So the interior of this example is going to be the black leather interior. This does have the premium package, so you get all the really nice metals, the high quality aluminum, and the cabin just has a very good quality feel to it, and I really like it a lot. So coming along to the door, you do have a few little touches that are new for 2018. So you have this stitching which runs across, which is going to be new. The padding is, I think, softer. It feels really good. good to rest your arms on. Your cubby spaces at the bottom, and of course your 2 speakers on the door. Now coming along to the side of the seat, you do have your power controls, and then your back tilt is going to be fully manual. And the seats are contoured very nice. I am slim figure, so it does a good job of fitting me very well, but the seat also has a lot of give to it because the leather is so soft. So if you are of a bigger style, they should fit you really well. Aluminum pedals, and then you do have a little area here on the side which you can put coins in there, and then you have a trunk release right next to that. So guys, what we'll do now, we'll go ahead and hop in, check out the rest of the car. All right. So I'll go ahead and shut the door. Very solid door shut, which of course I would expect nothing less from a 2018 model. Now starting up the car is very, very simple as long as you have the key in the interior of the car. Put your foot in the brake and then push the start button right here. It'll illuminate green. That'll start the car. Very nice. Okay, so first thing to note, guys, the steering wheel on here I really like a lot. Sorry, let me turn this AC down. So I love the supple feel of the leather on here. It feels really, really good. It's got this nice kind of black contrast stitching right there. Of course, your Mustang emblem right in the middle. All the controls I'll go over in just a second, but starting over here, guys, you are going to have, of course, all of your window controls, your mirror controls, your power door locks, and then of course your door handle right there. You have a speaker right here. Over here, you're gonna have all of your light controls. So this is going to be your interior lighting. All of your different light settings, automatic's gonna be right there. Fog lights are gonna be right over here. You've got your vents right here with this nice little kind of chrome bezel going right in the middle. Coming up top, you do have a nice kind of padded leather up here with this contrast stitching, which looks really, really good. I do like that a lot. And coming over here to the right side, you are going to have the same thing with your Mustang plaque right there. And this does have this sort of almost like scaly looking silver pattern coming across here, and then of course you have your oil pressure and your gauges right here with some more vents. Looks really nice. But the big news for 2018 is this gauge cluster, which I am just absolutely in love with. I think it looks incredible, especially when you switch it over into track mode. So to switch modes, right over here to the right, you are going to have your mode selector. If you guys can see that, sorry. So if I toggle this mode selector, right now I'm in normal mode, as you can see. So if I toggle it up a few times, you have normal, you have my mode, which is basically track mode for me. I love the really aggressive modes. But if I go up one more time, you have sport mode, which has a really, really cool look to it. So I love how the gauge sweep kind of goes up like that. Like I said, you do have a new higher red line. So this red line's at 7,500 now instead of 7,000. So as you'll see later on in the video, this thing just sings all the way to red line, and it sounds really, really good. And if you flick up one more time, that'll take you to track mode, which is definitely my favorite. It looks very McLaren, and I just love how, you know, once the revs build up, it just looks really, really cool. Looks absolutely amazing. Of course, you have your miles per hour over here. Now, as you can see in the middle, it says hold OK to save as my mode. So basically, whatever your mode is, your favorite mode, you can save that into my mode, and then basically when the car starts up and things like that, it'll always start up in your favorite mode, which is pretty cool. And then over here, as you can see, you have your fuel, which is all 100% digital. So everything is going to be 100% digital. So coming back over here to the steering wheel, guys, you have all of your controls right here. So all of your volume controls. So if I toggle that, that'll mess with my volume right there. And of course, you're going to have your mute button, your previous, next. Coming down here are your cruise control settings. Over here to the right, this is going to control all the modes right here in the menu. So what's going to happen now is if I click, for example, this little pony button, what that's going to do is it's going to take me to my different Mustang specific settings. So my modes, if I click my mode, I can show my different statuses for my driving mode. Your track apps, that's going to be all your fun stuff like your acceleration timer, brake performance, line lock, which does the burnout for you, your lap timers, and then different start options, things like that. Your gauges, you can adjust your gauges. So usually your gauges will change with the different drive modes, but you can adjust it where it will show, let's say, the track mode gauge all the time, which is a pretty neat setting. My colors, so of course you do have ambient lighting in here, so you can go through and adjust all of your ambient lighting, secondary colors, primary colors, things like that, and then your cluster appearance. Once again, we can go in and choose what you want your cluster to look like at all times. So pretty neat. And then of course right below that you're gonna have your music settings, your navigation, and then your other settings right here, which is gonna be things like trip fuel, driver assistance settings, so your rear parking gauge, your wipers, speedometer, and then if you click advanced settings, it's gonna take you to things like your vehicle setup, your display setup, and vehicle setup is things like your alarms, your lighting, your locks, you know, typical stuff like that. So very simple layout. I really like that. Big news for this specific car, as you can see by the paddle shifters here, this has the new 10-speed automatic, which I purposely picked just to see if it's as good as Ford claims it is, which we'll find out later on in the video. But you do have your wipers back here. Over here you're gonna have, of course, your blinkers, your pull towards you for your brights, and things like that. So pretty simple. Coming over here, you have Ford's famous Sync 3. I love this system. It's very user-friendly. I almost consider it the iPhone of car entertainment systems. It's just very simplistic. The touch response is very quick. Of course, it does come with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, so definitely no issues there. Coming down, you have, you have a little bit of your real buttons here. I do like how your volume and your tune are going to be actual knobs. Your heated seats, cooled seats are your AC controls, of course your toggles, which has been the same since about 2015, but I like how they have a real high quality feel to them. They just feel really solid. Of course your gear shifter right here. Now new for 2018, you do have all this kind of contrast stitching coming along here. You've got this nice driver side knee pad, so if you are a little bit on the taller side, your knees have to rest against here. At least it's nice and padded right there. Then coming down here, you are going to have your cup holders. You do have a key in there right now, but you have your cup holders right there. You do still have a manual brake, so Ford has not gone to an e-brake yet in the Mustang, which is good. Nice stitching right here, so it's nice and supple, really nice and soft. Storage space right in there. USB, 12 volt, pretty basic stuff. It's pretty shallow, but I mean, it is a sports car, so it's not like you need F-150 style space in here. Of course, door pockets. You do have a good amount of storage space right down there in the door pockets. You also have your glove compartment here, which you can lock, so I love how they put a lock on there, so you can definitely lock that, lock your belongings. And then coming up here, you do have auto dimming mirror, all of your interior lighting. You are going to have your home link right up here. You guys can take a look at that. And then, of course, your visor right up here with a nice little card holder slot in there. So pretty simple interior, you guys. So what we'll do now is we'll go ahead and take a look at the trunk, all right? All right, you guys, so coming to the back of the 2018 Mustang GT, as you can see, the trunk space is very good. It's very wide and the opening is real easy to get into. So getting things in and out should not be a problem. You can, of course, fold the back seats down to get a little bit extra space. And then right under here, you do have a compressor right here. So this does have a fix-a-flat kit. This does not come with a spare, so you will have to do that yourself right there. But that's pretty much it for the trunk, you guys. We'll go ahead and check underneath the hood. Coming underneath the hood, you still have the same 5.0 that you guys know and love, but there has been a lot of mechanical changes to it. So this now has port and direct injection. It does have new heads, so it has new cylinder heads, which does raise the compression to 11:1 to a 12:1 compression ratio. And what all those things do, basically, it's going to raise the horsepower. So now you have 460 horsepower and you have 420 pound-feet of torque, driving the rear wheels, of course. And like I said earlier, you do get a higher red line, so now your red line is 7,500 opposed to being just 7,000 RPM. So now to see what all that equates to behind the wheel. All right, you guys, so here we are in the 2018 Mustang GT. Now I'm super excited just because, you know, I've driven a lot of GM products over the past month. If you guys saw my review of the 2018 Corvette Grand Sport, you know, that car had only 5 more horsepower than this, which is just insane to think about. But yeah, I'm really curious to see how this 10-speed works. So right now, I'm just gonna go for it. I've got it in track mode. I've got it in the sport setting. I'm in first gear. So as soon as you go into track mode, traction control automatically turns off. So let's see what the acceleration is like on this bad boy. All right, first gear. Woo. Oh man. Foot down, here we go. So, took it a second, went down to third. It did feel a little jerky. I mean, I still think there are a little bit of kinks to work out. I mean, that's a lot of gears, 10 gears for sure. But definitely in the manual mode, I can already tell in the manual mode, it responds so much better. So let me try that again. I'm in 10th gear right now, so if I give it gas. So it did take it a second to go all the way down to 6th, which isn't that big of a deal, but like I said, this is mainly for economy purposes. And of course, the lower gears, so I'd say gears 1 through 5 are so tightly spaced that you're just banging off shifts left and right, and it's such a cool experience. So once again, I'm gonna go back into sport mode. Downshift, 3rd, 5th, 6th, 7th. It's so quick on when you're controlling it manually. It's so quick. So 6th, 5th, 4th gear, and it blips the throttle really well, and you can definitely hear that exhaust coming out from the back. About this car in specific, this does not have the magnetic shocks. Now here's why you want to get the magnetic shocks. I have driven a Shelby, so if you guys want to watch that video, go back and check it out. But the difference between this without the magnetic shocks is pretty noticeable once you've driven one that has the magnetic shocks. So basically, it's fluid filled dampers, but in the magnetic shocks, it has kind of like metal particles in it, and there's a magnet around the tube that kind of will adjust and kind of, I guess, electrify that liquid in there. And so what will happen is, instead of having just a stiffer spring, you have that viscosity changing in the fluid, and the biggest difference is it feels very composed. So it handles very well, but it does it with such a grace, and it does it in such a way that you're not really disturbed. I mean, it definitely feels firm, but it does a very good job of just maintaining a very elegant composure. And that is why you definitely want to option for the magnetic shocks on this. Another thing this specific car does not have is the active valve control exhaust system, which I was kind of upset about. I thought it had it, but this one doesn't. So all GTs come standard with the quad exhaust. This one, though, does not have the exhaust management system. It still sounds very good. This is one of the best sounding stock Mustang GTs I've ever heard, and getting that exhaust system just amplifies it that much more. Definitely gives you full control over what kind of sound you want, and I would definitely opt for those two. And once you do that, this is basically, you know, a GT350 minus all the harshness of that Voodoo flat plane crank motor. You know, this is very smooth, very linear, and it's got a real meaty torque band that it just swells as you go higher up in the rev range. And since this does have a higher 7,500 RPM, it's a lot more fun to rev it out, and it does have that same Miata-like feel that you get in the GT350. So, do a quick little 0 to 60 for you guys. So now what I'm gonna do, select this into drag mode. So what drag mode does, guys, is it softens up the rear suspension. That way, whenever you take off, the weight transfer goes more towards the rear, giving you more grip in the back, and so on and so forth. So we should be good to go. Acceleration timer is on. Holy smokes. Good gosh. It didn't even tell me how fast I went, but holy smokes. It chirped in every single gear. Oh my gosh. Hands down, guys, that felt so much faster than that Corvette Grand Sport that I drove. Holy, oh my gosh. Wow, Ford, what have you done? And just so you guys know, this is apparently 0 to 60 faster than a GT350. Like, that's insane. Oh my gosh, that was so fast. Well guys, thank you so much for watching. If y'all do want to subscribe to my channel, be sure to click up to the left side of the screen. If you guys want to see some more of my reviews, be sure to click up to the right. As always, please feel free to comment. Let me know what reviews you'd like to see next. I will do my best to make sure I pump those out for you guys. Also, be sure to follow me on Instagram, Forrest Auto Reviews, and you should find me pretty easily. It's got my same logo and everything. But thank you so much for watching, you guys. Y'all take care. Bye.